So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a manipulation mat. So this is what they look like. So the purpose is to pull a little bead along a string through different sized loops of felt. Now, similar to the marble mazes, the purpose of this is to help with fine motor skills and things like that. So you're going to start off with a 12 by 12 piece of felt, and you're also going to have some other little pieces of felt in a contrasting color, about 6 to 8 of them, depending on the size. Now you're going to want to make these pieces of felt wide enough for the bead to go through. So mine ended up being about 2 to 2.5 inches wide, and you can make them whatever length you want. So once you have them all cut out, you're going to lay them out in whatever pattern you want to. So after you get your pieces of felt laid out in the way you want to, you're going to pin them down with one pin on each short side of the piece of felt. When you're pinning the pieces of felt down, you should pin them so they bubble up a little bit as opposed to pinning them down flat, because if you pin them down flat, then the bead won't be able to slide through. So after you're done pinning down everything, you're going to want to take any kind of bead you want. I chose a dolphin-shaped one. And you're going to want to take a piece of thread or cord. I chose a sort of silky cord so that the bead will slide easily along it. And you're just going to thread this piece of cord with the bead on it through the loops. Now, I didn't tell you what length to cut the cord to because that can vary depending on how complicated your pattern is. So I just always cut off the cord I don't need at the end. So I really don't know what the length is. Once you're finished threading the cord through, you're going to want to make sure the cord is not too tight but not too loose, because if it's too tight then you won't be able to move the bead, and if it's too loose then the cord will move around too much. After you have the cord the way you want it, you're going to add an extra pin to the ends of your maze, on that third side. And you're also going to cut off the string, but leave a little bit of slack just in case you need to make adjustments while sewing. And then you're just going to sew where you put the pins. So once you've sewn that on and you've cut off the excess cord, you're going to get a second piece of felt that has the same dimensions, and you're going to put it right sides together with the other piece you just sewed, and you're going to sew along 3 of the sides, leaving one side open so that you can turn it inside out. So once you finish sewing those 3 sides, you're going to cut a little bit of fabric off from the corners, just so that the corners are a little less bulky and they'll lay flat once you turn it inside out. And after that, you'll just turn it inside out. And then to finish off the final edge, you're going to fold the outsides of the fabric to the inside, and you're going to fold them together, kind of like this. And then you're just going to pin that fold in place, and you're going to finish off the rest of that edge of the fabric just like this. And then for sewing, I wasn't able to sew through these 4 layers of felt on my sewing machine, so I'd recommend just hand sewing it. And with that, you're done. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned how to make a manipulation mat.